Hello, welcome to Voices of Courage Asia channel, and this is Lilian here. Together with me, I have Lisa. Hi, Lisa. How are you
Hey,
today?
hi, Lily. Yeah, so nice to be coming back onto Women of Courage Asia, the lunchtime chat time show. But this time, I'm going to be your co-host.
Yes, Lisa is going to be my co-host for this series, and we are doing the parenting styles with the Enneagram series, right? So we're going to be inviting many mothers on board, right, and to share with us their parenting styles and all their learnings, through understanding their personality through the Enneagram. So, Lisa, can you share with us a little bit about, what's the Enneagram?
The Enneagram basically does talks about the different personality type within the word Ennea itself, right? And of course, we talk about our personality type is more than just the traits that we showcase to other people. That's just all the outward part of it, but more beyond all the traits that we show, actually our personality type is also consists of something that's much deeper uh, than our values, more than our morals, but really every single personality type have a core motivation of why they do certain things that they do.
Yes, and the core motivation actually, determines why we think, feel, and behave in a very particular way, right? And of
Yes.
course, as like all different personality profiling system, it is not to label people, right? It is not to, it's not to label or box people up. We understand that
Yep.
it is just a framework to help us to jumpstart that self-discovery process, right?
Yes.
And I love the Enneagram because it doesn't just look at the traits, right? It doesn't just look at the surface. Like just now you mentioned, that different core motivations that uh, that affect, how we think, feel, and behave in a particular way. So our coping mechanism, especially the automatic coping mechanism, and yeah, like you mentioned, why we do what we do. So this series, we're going to be very focused on about parenting styles, right? And how does the Enneagram affect our parenting? And today we are very privileged to have a very special guest, and she is none other than Christine Loy, and she is the founder of Neuron's Secret Club.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
Christine.
Thank
Christine.
you, Lilian and Lisa, for inviting me my first time on your lunchtime check series.
Yes, yes, yeah. So, Christine, give us a little bit of introduction about yourself first.
Okay, so my name is Christine Looi. I'm the founder of Enneagram Secret Club, which is a community for women. The reason why I started this club is because I'm a divorcee with three kids. So during my divorce, I really had a hard time and very challenging time. So by creating this community, I want to support and empower more women to join us to build more connection and to create more opportunities for one another in our journey.
Mm.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, and we understand that your community is growing strong and fast, right? With many women coming on board. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So, yeah, Lisa, I'll just kickstart, the questions. Yeah, we want to really get to know Christine and her parenting style, because Christine also have gone through our Knowing Me, Knowing You
Yes,
workshop, right?
yes,
Sometime back. Yeah, I hope that that knowledge has and insights has equip you and empower you to also improve in your communication, not just on the home front, but in your work and business as well.
definitely. It has helped me a lot by knowing myself and
Mm.
what are the pro and cons of my own character and personality. It really helped
Mhm.
me along the way in my business journey as well as my parenting journey lah, for my
Wow.
children. Yeah.
Wow.
So
So
thank you,
how's the
Lilian, for organizing. It was very interesting and fun.
thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. How's your relationship with each of your children in the area of like maybe intimacy, on a scale of like 1 to 10? How do you rate
I
your
would say now is close to 8. So we are
okay.
pretty close. My kids, they are age 10, 13 and 15. So now that I see them, we will always hug them. Before they leave the house, I will also give them a hug. Sometimes we'll fall asleep hugging one another, watching Netflix, during the weekend. But what I would say is that because I don't see them every day, so maybe that's why we are very close when we see each other during the weekend. Yeah. So there would be less conflicting relationship when I see them. Parents every day they see the children, they will be screaming and shouting. Yeah, like a part and parcel in life. So for me now, I think the relationship and the intimacy with my children has grown. Also, I would thank Enneagram for helping me to realize what is my personality, so that from there I can, use the strength to be better and to overcome the weaknesses that I found in this Enneagram pattern. Yeah.
Right. Lisa, yeah, you have some interesting questions for Christine. I think you are muted. Okay. I think you tapped 2 times.
Muted again.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, now I'm back on.
Good.
So before we go on to the question for Christine, right? I
Mm.
think what the audience would really like to know is maybe Christine, you can share with us a little bit more on what is your Enneagram style type, and then also what were the things that you learned during the Knowing You workshop that you felt was crucial in helping you pivot in your parenting.
I think it's a a very interesting session through the Enneagram. I didn't realize I was number 3, which is the achiever, right?
Yes.
So I always thought I'm like a helper or things like that. And I think it really wow me when I know that I'm number 3, the achiever, so that I'm actually very driven. But when I see my previous jobs and journey, I felt that hey, actually I don't feel like number 3. But after I overcome my journey, my divorce journey, and being able to be what I want to be, I felt that the drive that I have really somehow really reflect me as a number 3. So I think with the drive that I have, of course it would give you some what is your pro and what is your strength and weaknesses. I think as an achiever, one thing about me is being effective in the things that I want to do, and always believe that there's hope and balance in the things that I'm going through. And yeah, I think it's very very interesting when I go through. I still remember that we have a lot of number 9, 7, or 2 during the workshop. So I'm the only one that is 3. And then Lilian straight away mentioned that, Christine, when you see her, is already number 3 for sure. But when we are going through this Enneagram workshop, we ourselves, the participant, actually really doesn't know that we will be number 3. So we always have a different perspective of the number that we have. But I also like the Enneagram is because I will be able to identify who can actually help me in ways like I think it's 9 and 2, or I can't remember. So like 2 and 4. So I think this also helped me in ways whereby when I work with people, I will be able to analyze and know that oh, this person is actually number 2, and that they can actually complement me, or we can complement them to grow in life, in the journey, whether is it business or in your personal journey. Yeah.
I think I just want to jump in here for a minute that, again, we want to highlight that, number is neutral. Number is just a number. Like what Christine, if those who are just tuning in, if you're just wondering, what's number 3, what's number 3? That is the achiever, right? In the Enneagram, and type is called the achiever. And in fact, Christine, you resonate quite a bit with the helper, because your wing is actually the helper. Yeah. So you have it's a 3-wing too. That's why you resonate so much with the helper. Yeah. Yes. And Lisa, you were checking in with her about something, right?
Yeah, so I mean, so we just want to focus very much on parenting for this session, right? So
Hmm.
how do you see that a trait of a tree has helped you in your parenting style?
Uh, I can be quite demanding. Like, I always want them to follow. Okay, lah. I always want them to follow the way that I do things. Like, okay, you do this, you do that. And when they ask me something, I will normally be proven solution for them. So whatever they ask me something, I'll say, okay, you should do that, and then you will be settled. I'm very fast to problem solution, and always telling them that, okay, you can do this, you can do that. It's not like I'm trying to be focused, or very strict on them. It's just that I felt that um, they can do much better, and I always want to push themselves to always be the best, right? As parents also. So through that, I also learned to give them more love, in terms of, because I am too direct and effective, and always felt that they should be pushed to be the best. Maybe I will neglect them to be like, feeling more, giving more love and understanding their needs, and being there more for them, like spending more quality time and being there for them. Because as a busy mom, and they don't see me always every day, right? I would have to, only see them weekend, so I would expect them to be very independent, very how do you say, like, they know what they should be able to do, even though at very young age. So I feel like I don't like to, tolerate any nonsense from them as a parent. So from Enneagram, I realized that I am a very, so-called strict and focused person. So that I don't give them any rooms to develop love and personal relationship. So after this Enneagram that I took, I realized that, I should be more loving to them, giving them more quality time, and giving them support, and be more mindful of the things that I do. So that
Hmm.
in terms of, when things just happen, I give them support, but also every day or every week we have that kind of connection to make them feel love, and that I am still there to give them support and guidance, with the extra love and concern for my children. Yeah.
Right. I think I forgot to mention that Lisa, I think while Christine was there describing, her parenting style, you probably would resonate a little bit with her because you are also a type three, the achiever, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was just gonna say. I think I can resonate with a lot. Identify with what Christine mentioned a lot about. Expecting no nonsense from your kids. When they come to you with things, you just want to give them the solution and be done with it. I think. For a type three achiever, we have so much things on our plates, and we like to build a lot of things on our plates. So we actually spread ourselves quite thin. So I think for in terms of temper, for me, I tend to be a bit more quick tempered. So when they come to me, I'll be like, get it done and over with. And then chop chop, let's finish. I need to move on to the next task already.
Yes, yes,
So
exactly.
Mm.
yeah, so because of that, I mean, of course, knowing in the last few years through all the coaching and understanding of Enneagram, I also understand these are the growth area that I need to have for myself.
Mm.
So carving out intentionally carving out time for the children is very important for me, so that I have a time that I reconnect back with them, rather than just moving through the daily tasks and stuff like that. So I think like what Christine said, weekends are the time that we take to bond with our children. Yeah,
Mm.
so it's very mindful for us to kind of put that aside for them. But even then, when we lay out that one time, it also needs to be very intentional, that is doing things that they want and not doing things that we want. Because we also have, when we do things, we always have, like, we want to achieve something during that activity that we do. So I also need to understand that it's not about me achieving the things that I want, but achieving the things that they want.
Mm,
Yeah.
Mm.
yes.
Wow. Wow. I think that's so insightful because when you're, I notice, especially the three or some, because each of us have the different types within us, right? So when I also realize that when I behave like a three, just very locked and focused on getting things done. And
Mm.
that's where the emotions are neglected. And sometimes we can
Yes.
unintentionally and unconsciously, hurt someone, or especially in the area of parenting, the emotions, like Christine mentioned, putting a lot of love and attention in how they feel. Yeah. So for the mummies out there, if you resonate with Christine and Lisa, wow, and you're busy achieving, and because you're very efficient, right? And always, focusing on getting things done. I think being more intentional and mindful about the feelings of your children, how they are feeling, and like what Lisa said, it's about achieving the things that it's about what they want and not what you want, right? Yeah. So I think that's quite a nugget over there. Yeah. Lisa, what else? What else can we be checking in with Christine?
Yeah, I know. So Christine, I'm just curious. Have you, after going for the workshop, right? Have you actually tried to type your children, like trying to discover, what type they might be, so that you can apply the different enneagram,
The
tactics on them in that
tips,
sense.
the tips and tips, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
To be honest, no. When you are the same as me, maybe I don't know whether it resonate you. It's like after that thing, the Enneagram workshop, I was like, okay, I'll be focusing on myself and maybe some changes that I need to do based on the weaknesses that I have. I didn't realize that I would like to group my child into these Enneagram patterns, right? Until I actually received the interview questions, then I say, yeah, why I didn't think of grouping my analyzing them lah. But even though I know I might be wrong, but I think my both sons should be 2 and my daughter should be 3.
Mm.
So
Runs in the family, these kind of things.
yeah, so I think maybe we make a great combination, but that's what I think, right? Because the two boys are very loving, and my daughter is more authoritative also. So as a parents, right, now based on the parenting styles, I could be the authoritative and the pessimistic
Mm.
mom.
Pessimistic.
Yeah, pessimistic mom. Uh, so sometimes you need to be on different head when different situation happens lah. So when it's time to be making firm decision, you have to, but we still have to go through a lot of communication with them because they also have feeling. We need to also let them have a chance to actually share about their feelings and expressing themselves, so that
Mm.
we will be able to understand what they actually need within. So as parents nowadays, some parents, they will want their child to be like this, study like this, go to this school, result in this 80 marks and above. So for myself is I try to be more relaxed with them, but to relax sometimes also they will be over your head. So it's really a balancing moment for parents to really analyze the children lah, because yes, children are all different, right? So it's
Mm.
really how the children are being brought up, and how you're going through based on your relationship with your children, how what kind of parents you are. Because
Mm.
it really depends on your parenting style, then your children will be growing up differently. So I believe
Mm.
that maybe the styles can change over time. As parents, you might be very strict and authoritative last time, but now you are more permissive, as a permissive parents, that you will open up and make friends to your children. But not every parents believe that making friends with your children will be an effective one. But for me, I felt that just but be comfortable lah talking to your children. That is one thing that we need to understand. Otherwise, it's very difficult to communicate just by what you believe is right for the children. It's very
Mm.
stressful in the environment that we are in now.
Mm.
The more we know, because we are all entrepreneurs and business owner. So the less you want to have serious problem with your children, when you are so serious with them, you cannot even communicate with them. That's where you lost that part as a parents, growing up with them, because they do not have any chance to decide or to raise up their ideas, right? So I think,
Mm.
yeah, as parents, I felt that knowing your children style might be able to help you in your parenting journey, so you might know how to tackle them according to their
Mm,
styles lah. Yeah.
right. I think you brought up one very interesting point, and that is, it really, by understanding the each other's fears, desires, and or even longing, and the need. Yeah, so that's like identifying. Like I know you use the word analyze. Yeah, it's actually also to look at, to be mindful, and more aware about what are their, besides their traits. Yeah, what are their fears, what are their longing, right, and the motivation and the needs. Yeah, and how they usually behave. Yeah, and also how they usually behave when something happens, when an incident happens, when a crisis happens, when a challenge happens, how they automatically react. What are those patterns that we are seeing very evidently? Every time it happens, every time they will react in a certain way. So those are clues, right, for us to get to understand more about our children. So by understanding all the different types of the personality in the Enneagram profiling, it gives us that insight. It gives us, it open up our mind to be able to identify the different traits that are being evident. Yeah. So I think, like what Christine mentioned, um, uh, you use the word analyze. I would prefer the word, to be more aware, to be more mindful about, and identifying, those traits that are more evident, right? Yeah. What do you think, Lisa? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, what she mentioned about keeping the channels open in terms of communication, that's very important. I think regardless of any parenting style, I think that's one thing that we've learned. I mean, also with our own parents, we've learned that communication is key. We always need to
Mm,
keep the channel open so that they feel safe, that they can come to us when they are in trouble or when they have something that they need advice for. Yeah, because as three, right, we tend to cut the emotions away when we attend to something. And so when dealing with the kids, if we don't have patience, we will just cut the feeling away about the parenting thing. We'll just say, just do it. And so it I what Christine said, it can hurt the feelings of the children, especially if they are young and they don't understand where we're coming from, why are we talking to them like that. So I think for me, I do recognize that for myself as well. A lot of the time, especially because I'm busy at work, my son will come to me with things and stuff. I cannot handle it. So I will just push it away and then just,
Rush.
yeah, just brush
rush.
it away. Yeah, but I think drawing on more on my wing four to help me to be a bit more feeling on this as well. And
Mm,
also I take example from my husband. He does a much better job than me sometimes. He can get angry, but he will always find a time to sit down with the boys and understand and explain to them why he behaved the way he did,
mm,
so that they understand that we are always about the issue. We are not about
mm.
them. Yeah. So
Yes.
we might have and handled it right or wrong that during that moment, but we need to go back to understanding that why when we reacted that way, it is not that we don't love them, but it's because that we wanted to deal with the issue at hand first. Yeah,
Mm.
so that is always something that we hope to communicate to them when that happens lah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's always a balance of, being task oriented and taking care of the emotions at the same time.
Yes,
Yeah.
but unfortunately time always don't allow that.
Totally agree.
So let me just check in with both of you, so what is that stress trigger for you usually?
Just mention it all time for me.
Yours is time. Yeah. How about you, Christine?
I think it is when she talk about time, maybe it's also including the work that we have, the businesses that we have. Time is not enough, and we need to, as entrepreneur, financial support. As a single mom, is also still financial support. I
Mm,
think yeah, so I think the stress trigger will be, for me, will be, of course, the financial support as well as time and the work that we have. So
mm.
these are the stress that I'm facing now lah. Yeah.
Mm, mm.
I think when we don't
And
feel like we are in control, that's when it gets to us.
mm.
Yes.
So
Yes.
can share with the audience out there, so when these, because there will be other moms out there who will
Mm.
resonate with you. Yeah, they will have the same stress trigger like you do. So what are some tips that you can share with the audience out there, the moms out there, when this happens, how do you handle it? How
I
do you
think
address
I
it?
think a support group is very important, which is why I also set up a New Year Secret Club, because I think people also need to take care of their wellness. So I've
Mm,
seen very successful women, they are very unhappy with their husband or their work, but they still have to, because they are getting high paid and things like that. But they're still very unhappy about their life. So they will come and join us in our maybe hair salon beauty day, makeup day, or meditation, candle making. So we created a lot of workshops to cater to different women in the life to face their stress. Some they are financial no support, or they are in debt. Not to miss out those that they do not get any support from their husband, or their work is not giving me any promotion. So all the stress can be quite tough, especially
mm,
for single moms with no support. So I would urge, all the ladies they are watching, find a support group. Women of Courage Asia is also a very good support community. And I'm sure there's
mm,
a lot of community out there that can give you support. Of course, the connection, I believe the connection has to be there, to be genuine, to really support one another. Go out to have some mindfulness things that you think is good for you, because everybody is different. Can be reading a book, can be having some me time alone, can be having some good time with your friends, yoga and all these things. Some things don't have to necessarily involve a lot of money. Going out for a walk, or climbing the stairs, sweating out, is also a form of releasing. So it's really depending how you view it, in terms of releasing your stress. A lot of things can be done. It's just that whether you want to step out, step forward to share your stories or your stress to others. So for me,
mm,
I set up this community. I think as number three, as what Lisa mentioned, we can actually draw the emotion line very clearly. So when
mm,
people come to us and talk about their emotions and story, we can really very easy draw, because we will not be put in that kind of emotion or situation whereby we'll feel too much, because we need to understand that we are listening to people emotions. We just need to know how to solve this solution for them, meaning we
mm,
can look for mediator, we can look for counselor, therapies, things for them to engage. So this is one part that is very important, because as in Enneagram, you have people that are very emotions, very want to help, everything also want to help. Then it also will affect you, because how many people can you help, or how many hands do you have the time that we have mentioned about, or maybe financial. So we really need
mm,
to analyze people differently and find support for different people who needs different help. That is very
mm,
important. Yeah, when we do this kind of role that we are in. So
mm,
I would say that, mummies out there or women's out there, if you're facing any stress, look for a support group to help you. Find
mm,
some meaningful activities that you can engage in. Of course, your mind must, some mindset maybe you need to change to be in a position where you feel better, because all these things, when it's over, you will go back to square one. So how are you going to make your life better? Then your mindset has to change. You have to work on something. Otherwise, you will continue to complain about, you don't like this, don't like that, why is like that, why is like that, things like that. So your mindset
mm.
also need to change. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what I want to say.
Right. Support group, definitely one of the key things that system that you want to put in place for ourselves, right? As
Yeah,
parents,
yeah,
yeah, regardless whether you're a mom or you're a dad, yeah, having a great support system is so critical. Yeah. What
Yeah.
about you, Lisa? Like, yeah, what are some of the things that you think that you need to grow on in your parenting style and yeah.
Actually, for me, what I would like to share with the moms out there is, especially for type 3 moms, is about expectations. I think as
Mm,
threes, because they are achievers, we have so much expectation of others and
mm,
even of ourselves, that we can be really very hard on ourselves when we don't think that we've met up to, what we set ourselves out to do. So
Mm.
I think in my journey in the last few years, especially after I come out from my postpartum depression, what
Mm.
I've really learned is to be really more self-accepting,
Mm.
to um, I mean, like also what Christine said, to learn to love ourselves a bit more, learning to take time aside to come and nourish our own creative soul, whether it's do workshops and things like that, having support group to build us up. It's one thing to have friends that, that have that parents kids about the same age, but a support group is more than just that, right? It's not about just having parents with the same age group, but people who will be able to speak positively to you and to help lift you up when you're down. I think that's very, very important, and to help put out the maybe the blind spots in your life that you might not see yourself.
Mm.
So that's always kind of hard to come by, I feel. Yeah. So expectation is key. So learn to love yourself a little bit more. Learn to be kind to yourself. But I think as we are kind to others, yourself, you also be kind to other people. And then I think generally you'll feel that it's easier because um, yeah, you're just not constantly feeling like you're trapped. Yeah,
Mm.
because you have how I say, a limiting band all around you. Like, everybody is just stuck in that little band that you have already put on them. Yeah, it can be so much more. Yeah, so just be kind with your own expectations lah. I think that will
Yeah.
allow a type 3 mom to have a lot more room to breathe.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was very well said. And I just want to add on to what Lisa has said about expectations. And I think first thing first is, to discover ourselves, to know, why are we having such expectations? Why are we striving, to such expectations? What is driving that behavior, right? So I think it goes back to understanding ourselves, discovering, our core motivations, our fear, our desires, what are our needs, and what are those automatic coping mechanism that we have been, and the strategies that we have been automatically applying, whenever something happens. So which is why, we go back to loving this profiling system that we want to share with everyone, right? And especially parents, because around us in our community there are so many mothers, right? And like Christine, single moms, and of course there are other working moms, stay-at-home moms, yeah, all sorts of moms who are, focused on different interests. Yeah, we have the fitness mom, we have the tiger mom. Yeah. So having said that, understanding ourselves so that we know why we are having this parenting style. Are you even aware that you are applying a specific, repeating, a recurring pattern in your parenting? Yeah. And how does all this impact our children? And do you know your children's personality? What are their fears? What are their desires? What are their needs? So, and of course, the traits. So, when we are able to identify our own and our children's personality and the belief, and all that, right, that is where the relationship can improve, and that's why it can increase the intimacy score, like Christine just now mentioned. She has her score now is like, she thinks this should be 8, right? So
It's
we can push it to the 10. Yeah. So anything else to add before we wrap up this session, from the both of you? Christine, anything to add? And Lisa?
no, no.
Not for me. Not
Mm,
for me, yeah.
yeah. Okay. So if not, then that's great. This session, we have heard from the type 3 moms, right? Both Lisa and Christine. And in our next episode, we will be inviting. In this session, we have heard from Christine and Lisa. Both are type 3, the achievers, right? And but although they are same type 3, same, but different, because everyone is different, and you have different wings, and different scores of the different types in you. But in the next episode, we will love to hear from the other Enneagram types, right? What are their parenting styles. And yeah, there are more moms that are coming on board, so we look forward to seeing the rest of the moms in the next episode, right? So Lisa, mm, uh, you want to say something before we say goodbye to our audience?
Yeah, so if you have been hearing what we've been sharing about the type trees, and you feel like you're interested to know more, come get in touch with us on the Class Living website, or Knowing Me, Knowing You, and you can get to know how you can type yourself, how you can learn to also discover what are the personality traits of your children, and how you can use those skill sets that you have uh, gotten to help yourself in the parenting arena. Yeah. So join us in the next episode of
Yes.
No Voices of Courage Asia. So till then, I'll see you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone. See
you.
you.
See
Thank you,
Thank
Lisa.
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Christine. Bye.